Okay, but regardless, none of that technically matters. Here's where I think Destiny's view is currently at, and I don't know if I can actually logically fight this much at all.
No.
Given that happened, what happens if we win 2028? Conservative mindsets don't change at all in the 4 years that our new Democrat president is around.
Wait, is this a... Oh, hey, it's my talking point. Yeah. This is my talking point, right? Because if you win, even if you win, you don't win, right? Yeah, because even if you win, you can't fix the fucking double standards poisoning that's going on, right? Like, to me, the winning of an election is different from the winning of media representation and the strategy going forward, right? Like, at the very least, right? That's my argument. Yeah. Wait, does Steven also say this? Steven has to say this, right? As in, like, oh, winning isn't the only problem here, right? Yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't care. Whatever.
2032 comes around, and we end up right back in the same spot. A Republican wins, right. They get a try. Well, yes. Let's assume the Supreme Court composition doesn't change too much in that time. So they end up with a trifecta, and we're back in the same position, and we get the same escalation between that term that we got between the 2016 Trump term and the 2024 Trump term.
If things don't start fixing,
another 10x worse in 2032.
Sure, yeah, then we're heading towards the end of democracy, like as it is, obviously. Like if
I think of that. Yeah, I think of that.
No, it's like beating cancer. It's like beating cancer and then getting like a fucking cancer remission, right? Like that's the equivalent of what I'm talking about, right? Like you have a fucking cancer remission. you get breast cancer a second time, right? Like the first time it was the breast cancer, and then you get breast cancer a second time. Like, yeah.
At that point, we're there. It's like, okay, well, and wartime.
Yeah, basically.
And I think that's where Destiny is, and I think that from everything I've seen, just from the first 9 months of this term, I don't even know if I could logically fight that.
I don't know. I feel like whenever I look back at like the reason why civil wars and stuff happened and like the fallout of it, it's just like, guys, this is like literally the worst fucking possible outcome, and things were like fucking insane. Like if you look at like the revolution that like led to America, the colonies like separating from Britain, it was like fucking insane, the shit that was happening. Like we aren't really there. We also have a lot of structural institutions.
Actually, you hit on something that I wanted to bring up. I want to stop right there. I wanted to bring this up too. The thing that nobody talks about, nobody thinks about for the American Revolution is that fucking nobody wanted to do it. The American colonists did not want to revolt at all. They tried they tried to plead with the king over and over and over and over, like, hey, please just be a little less unhinged. We have no interest in breaking away from you at all. And it was only when it was very fucking clear that he was never going to relent that they're like, all right, fuck it. God damn it. We have to.
Yeah. Yeah. War is the worst.
I don't see that from America right now. I see half the country begging for it.
Oh, you mean Republicans?
Yeah.
I see a lot of Republican pundits. Most of the Republicans that I talk to, when I'm like, how do you feel about that? They're like, oh no, that's not good. Like we don't want civil war. That's bad.
You're getting that from normies?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've had a scary amount of normies be like, I think it's fucking based. I think it's about time. I'm like, okay, you're terrifying.
Yep. The issue is like the moment that you interrogate the realness of that, right? Like, okay, what are people saying? And then what do they actually believe? And when you interrogate the realness of the position, pretty quickly, most people are like, oh yeah, I guess like war's not actually good. And we should like slow things down.
Sure.
What? No, stop. Dude. No. Nobody is going to say, yeah, war is good and we shouldn't slow things down, right? Literally everybody is going to say war is not good and we should slow things down. But that's everyone. Everyone's going to say that, but they're going to say that war is a necessary evil to root out the virus that are the Democrats, right? People are going to say we need to do this, even though it's bad. It's like a thorn that we need to take out of the country, right? Like that's probably going to be their argument. It doesn't matter whether or not they view war as inherently bad or not. Nobody, like almost nobody views war as inherently good. Nobody does that. But the thing is that they're going to argue for the justification of war because of how crazy the left is, right? If that makes sense. But yeah, like that would be, yeah.
It's the same way, like,
I'll completely take that.
It's Antifa retards saying, like, what revolution doesn't have blood? And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, you love Uber, okay? Like, nobody thinks. Yeah. Like,
I'll completely take that at face value, sure.
Yeah, okay, if we like continue in the way that we are, and the left stays as toxic and ineffective and unhealthy as it is, and the right stays as toxic and effective and unhealthy as it is, yeah, democracy will die. But the issue is, like, the real conversation is, what are the off-ramps to that, right? There's Republican off-ramps that need to be taken that I agree are not being taken, and that is bad. And I think we should continue to criticize Republicans for that and keep holding them accountable for their, like, lack of patriotic.
But that's the thing, though. You say hold accountable, but they're not being held accountable. Trump has, like, wrested his way outside of every single fucking criminal fucking judgment, right? Criminal court case or some shit, right? Like, he has avoided all of that. And not only that, like, the January 6th protesters have been, like, they've been spared, right? They've been pardoned. So yeah, to be frank, yeah, I find it, like, she's just wrong on this, right? They haven't been held accountable. They really haven't. Yeah. This is no longer the case, you know? Like, what does accountability look like to Erudite, I guess? I don't know.
Value. Like, they're just celebrating the decay of their own country. That's bad, right? You're economically getting nerfed right now, and you're, like, being like, I mean, whatever. The issue is, like, before this Kirk killing, Trump was down. Like, he's really popular with especially his core base, but he's actually one of the least popular presidents, right? And he was down hard. Like, the Triple B, not being well received by anyone. Like, it has been bad for him. He was down like 24 points. I believe the Epstein stuff has him down like a major amount of points. So it's like there's ways to pull back on this. The issue is, like, the Democrats have to take back the culture. They need to be effective at.
Yeah, but this is like begging for scraps at the dinner plate. You're basically talking about, like, us scraping, like, breadcrumbs off the table while they're eating, like, a magnificent like feast, right? Like, they're eating, like, fucking double roasted pork, right? Pork belly and rice, and chicken katsu curry, right? Meanwhile, we're the ones that are eating, like, fucking white bread, like white breadcrumbs off the fucking table. Like, that is the equivalent of, like, what we're doing here. Because whenever somebody says, well, like, isn't it the fact that Republicans are losing ground on X and Y issue? Well, no, they're losing ground because they are so evil. They're so evil that when it comes to the Epstein shit, they can't escape it, right? Because the reason why it was so effective was because it was the Republicans that were also pushing the Epstein shit. It wasn't because only Democrats were taking the initiative and they were doing something like that, right? It was also because of Republicans and, like, moderates that were pushing the Epstein shit because they are very conspiracy minded. So yeah, like, it's not. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not close. It's just. Yeah, it's not even close. Like, you're saying we're gaining ground, but I see Minecraft Skyblock survival. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, yeah.
At it, and ideally they need to build a culture that will ensure that the culture that they create won't make the right go crazy. Because right now the right is building a culture that is making the left go crazy, right? And it's understandable why the left is going crazy.
How do you bring people like Erudite back? You don't. It's usually a waste of time. I don't know. Like, when it comes to people who are, like, optics cucks, like, I just don't know how you can convince them. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Oh well.
Crazy. The issue is, like, before then, the left was building a culture that made the right kind of go crazy, and we also have to take account for that. And until both sides go, you know what, we need a strong left and a strong right. Like, things are bad, but the only way that we achieve that future of derailing tragedy is by being a person who's trying to derail tragedy.
I completely agree, but I feel like everything we're talking about right now is just inherently just truisms, right, across the board. like spitting of truisms isn't really like doesn't really get us anywhere. The question is like, how do you actually accomplish that? I totally agree that you said like one thing that's like super true. Like upon like slight reflection, it's like, hey, I should just write about that. And that the Civil War rhetoric is like 99.9% just coming from pundits at the moment, right? But the more interesting question is, how thin is the veil between punditry and the average person, and what does it take to push the average person into the opinions of pundits? If it is the case, like your issue here with Stephen is the fear that his rhetoric, that his way of handling this is going to just make him look bad, and by the transitive property make us look bad as Democrats as a whole. But then secondly, that people might come around, like believe him and be like, you know what, he's fucking right. This is the way forward.
Erudite is all right. She is the soft hand that will catch some and provide some counterbalance to full aggro morons. I don't know if it's the play right now. It's not the play. Because as I've shown before earlier this stream, Leaflet will take advantage of people like Erudite and Wick in order to push their own like far-right agenda, right? Like they'll take advantage of people like Wick to laugh at the left and go like, see how divided they are? Look how fucking moronic they are. Don't you see that Wick is right against Destiny? Like it's just weak. It's the sign of a weak and divided left. Right? If anything else, this can't be like, these cannot be Stephen's allies. Like these are not Stephen's allies, right? In this specific instance, maybe when it comes to the drama, they are Stephen's allies. Like when it comes to anti-fan shit, they are Stephen's allies, right? But when it comes to this politics shit, I just don't see them as Stephen's allies. Yeah, that's it.
If you can possibly muster that fear in terms of Stephen's rhetoric, then it must be the same on.
Like if I was somebody like Leaflet, right? If I was a far right-wing VTuber or something, right? I would be watching this. And I would be like, look how much of a fucking loser they are, okay? Look how much they're infighting. Don't you think that they're like weak and divided while we're strong and resilient? Don't you see that under the united banner of Trump, he will lead us to victory? Meanwhile, their side is collapsing. See? Destiny is so wrong that even his own allies and orbiters are calling him out. Like, doesn't Destiny, like, see how delusional he is? Destiny is so delusional because, like, even his own allies, the people who he's supposed to be aligned with the most, are calling him out. Doesn't that show something? Doesn't it show that Destiny has gone too far this time? Maybe it's time to call for Destiny's ban from YouTube. This is the rhetoric. It's a perfect narrative. How could you, like, again, it's just, I'm sorry, it's just not a good look, okay?
The other side, right? Like, there must be some fear that, like, the Civil War talk coming from Republican pundits is going to trickle down to the average Republican, no?
Yeah, of course.
So then, how do you, I just don't know how to solve that problem, because the suggestion you had was we need to keep criticizing Republicans, but have we not been doing that infinitely forever?
Well, the issue is first of all, we need to criticize Republicans well. A lot of the issues is like the way that, like,
I feel like Stephen is like, he would criticize people like NotSoErudite as well. But I think that he's a little bit more hesitant to criticize her, just mainly because she's been such a good friend, right? Not in this specific instance. I think she's a horrible friend in this instance, okay? I don't know. I'm sorry. That's just my beliefs, okay? Listen, okay? Whatever, okay? Don't take me too seriously. But, like, the thing is that when it comes to this specifically, yeah, I don't think, like, I think she's a great friend when it comes to, like, the J Stoke and Queeman and, you know, all that stuff, right? I think that, yeah, I think that stuff is good. But this is, not saying that this is a backstab, but, like, this is, like, you're undermining your allies, right? You're undermining your allies. That's what's going on. Yeah. And I think that a lot of the hate towards NotSoErudite is unwarranted. I do think that when people criticize her, they're way too misogynist. I do actually think that, right? But the thing is that this isn't really like a girl problem. It's more like a, because again, Wick and Counterpoints is the same, right? And they're guys. So the thing is this is just a fucking optics cuck problem, okay? Yeah.
Massively fumbled the bag from, like, when we had culture in like 2016 to like 2022, we fucked it. We were so fucking stupid. It was so utterly embarrassing when you look back, right? Because we thought that we won the culture war, but mostly what we did is ban people who disagreed with us, and then, like, thought that we won, when in reality it just turned a lot of people away. And we also let fucking insane cultural norms take over to the point that like normal people are like, I feel like I can't even like maybe voice that like, you know, some of this like non-binary like trans kid stuff is kind of weird and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like you couldn't even say that, right? And so it's like in like social spaces. So
I hate Soypo and Erudite equally. Well, I dislike them equally, okay? Hey, North, hi. Wait, dude, North, I saw that you were... I actually checked out your YouTube channel yesterday, okay? I was like, who the fuck is this person? Yeah, sorry. I go digging around a lot, okay? I was just talking to Ryan after Erudite's call with him. Wait, is this Ryan McLoley? Wait, who is this person? Who's this person that he's talking to? I don't know.
People grew to deeply hate the left because there was like this social culling and pressure of free speech. Like people don't like that. And the reality is like the right is going to fumble the bag too, because right now it has the head of the culture war. It's clearly not learning the lessons that it should have. They're in fact doing all of the bad shit that the left was doing. And so if the left wants to be effective, like what can they do? Okay, well, the left has to shrink the tent to what a liberal Democrat is so that it becomes understandable as something that people can identify with. Because nobody wants to look at the freaks shouting like, Kirk is dead and identify with that person. Nobody wants to be that person. But what is the left? Because mostly that's what people know the left to be, right? Like most normies think the left is like, they're like, yeah, those are like a little bit more extreme, but most left people like are gonna get mad at you if you like don't use the right pronouns and if you like use any certain language, and they don't like the word retard, and they like welfare and shit like that, you know? So what is the left? We probably need to shrink the tent. Should probably stop letting fucking communists be staff in our, thought leaders, major pun.
One of my biggest fears is that because Destiny was so anti-lefty, right? Destiny was so anti-lefty for such a long time, and he spent so long like crusading against people like Hassan and Vosh and stuff like that, that he basically developed this orbit around him that perfectly catered towards like his hate of lefties, but at the same time would defer to optics and moderates and stuff like that, right? And I think that that is what happened. I think that after the whole like anti-lefty shit, which is by the way justifiably so. Again, I hate Hassan. I don't like Vosh. I don't like any of these people. Okay, I fucking hate lefties. But the thing is that like now you surround yourself with people like NotSoErudite, Counterpoints, and Wake TV, who sticks around. And what they'll do is that they'll hate lefties with you, but they'll never, ever, ever concede to your point on the optics for the moderate's point, right? So you're stuck with these people, but unfortunately, you kind of dug your grave here, right? Because now, like they won't be on your side for this thing. I don't know, like why can't you just dislike both? Why can't you dislike both moderates and the lefties, huh? Like, why do we live in a world where it has to be one or the either if they're a liberal, right? Why do we live in a world like that? Yes, I'm calling Counterpoints a liberal because that's who he is, okay? But the thing is I don't know. I'm sorry. It's just so fucking retarded. I hate this space.
That are like working with politicians. We should probably stop doing that.
Okay,
it also has to develop a prominent alternative media apparatus to contend with politics. But the problem is that anytime somebody tries to make an effective media apparatus, we either the further left group that we keep on trying to appease, like the Taylor Lorenz, nuke it, like in the chorus situation, and blow it up and make everyone not feel comfortable with it. Or when that doesn't happen, nothing even gets off the ground because the chattering class and the funders on the left always attach strings and ropes for their pet projects to a media apparatus that content creators don't want to play ball with because, sorry, you want to help fund and like get my content everywhere? I don't really want to talk about Latino ideas. And they're like, well, if you don't talk about Latino stuff, then we won't fund you. It's like, fuck you. Like, what the fuck is this stupid shit? Okay. Third, we need to abandon many, if not all, elite views that make you boring at parties, hard to get along with, and fucking weird. We need to like stop being academic elitist weirdos that can't hang. It's a problem, right? That's something that the progressives were good at. They were counterculture.
Bro. Dude, I feel like I don't like this whole like fucking I don't like the fact that you bring up like, oh, the lefties are like infiltrating everything on a conversation about like not being an optics cuck or not, right? like that's such a, not saying that's a whataboutism, but I feel like it kind of shows how hypocritical you are, right? It shows how biased you are against the lefties, because you're so biased against the lefties that like you are willing to forsake your like your optics arguments, right, in order to move towards them in a conversation about the optics or anything like that. I don't know, dude. It's just I don't know. Anyway. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Okay, whatever. Just ignore me. Ignore me, okay, please. I'm not saying anything.
Culture. They were cool. That's kind of why we shook hands with them. The issue is they're not cool anymore. And the liberals never figured out how to be cool. Ever. They just never did it. We just don't value like aesthetic. And they should also get good back at what they're really good at, which is monopolizing creativity and showing strong business and strong nightlife. But people don't want to leave their house. People are constantly afraid to hang out with their friends because they might say something wrong. They're like attached to their phones, and we make it unbearable to hang out with a lot of the left because we're constantly held captive in a social group by the most woke person in the space.
All right, I'm moderate enough. I'm actually
kill
like
me. Just kill me, dude.
Actually, just I don't know. Me. I say like centrist because there's probably like ultimately if you boiled down both sides to their 2016 standards, I'd probably be I'd lean more right than left probably. Anyway, sure. All of that to say, I agree with everything you just said inherently because of that like moderateness. Okay. The problem is that strategy works only if and only if two things. If and only if we smoke Republicans in 26 and 8 and then continue to do so. And alongside that, Republicans change their ways. Like this whole Trump.
Foods, Destiny is a moderate politically. You keep misusing that term. That is so incorrect. Destiny is not a moderate. Like Destiny is almost definitely pretty damn far left, okay? Like he supports polyamory probably. He thinks that polyamory probably isn't degenerate. He probably thinks that open marriages are not degenerate. He is probably in support of transitioning. He is in support of gay marriage. He isn't like yeah, like I don't know. He probably supports rent control as a temporary solution, but not as a long-term solution. Like these are pretty damn like left-leaning ideas that pretty solidly blue. I don't know. You're weighing into something. NSC is fine making ammo against but gets petrified at possible ammo against libs because MAGA looks at both the same. Foods, you don't know what that term means. Okay, all right, fine. Okay, you say what you want. Okay, say what you want. Say everything. Sorry. Okay. Say what you want. That's pretty similar to what Destiny has said in the past, though. I specifically remember him saying that he was annoyed that right-wingers are much easier to hang out with in person than lefties. He's definitely center-left because people should have the freedom to determine their life as long as it's not negative for others. Right, yeah, I would probably describe him as center-left. Yeah. It's like potato-potato at this point, you know? Yeah. Also, by the way, okay, I'm getting ahead of the argument here, okay? But just in case anyone says, like, why are you bashing on NotSoErudite? Like, why the fuck are you criticizing her? Even though she's being targeted also by anti-fans. Number one, she's a fucking adult, okay? So she is able to put on her big girl pants, okay? Have takes and be criticized, okay? By her own side as well, okay? Number two, all right, I'm pretty, like, fucking anti-fan, so I don't think this is playing into, like, their narrative of, like, oh, yeah, oh, don't you see that Foodshops is going to become an anti-fan one day or something like that? I don't think it's playing into that narrative because of how hardcore anti-fan I am. But yeah, I don't know. There you go, okay? Getting ahead of the argument, okay?
Authoritarian,
like... just in case, okay?
Authoritarian, like, sympathies. If all that goes away, then everything you just said works and we're good to go and we should be fine for the future, okay? Like, America's not going to crumble, at least this century. However, if we take 26 and 8 and then just immediately lose it all again in 30 and 32, then that's out the window. And then secondly,
assuming,
if they don't change...
No, that's
if they
not
don't change,
I'm going to pause you.
Punch you.
I'm going to pause you.
Punch.
Assuming that they don't change in the 2 elections that they lose, right? The issue is that, like, politicians are paid...
They lost 2 and they didn't change. What? They got worse.
They lost 1, right? They lost 2020.
Then they kind of have a fucking rough ass time in 18.
What was that fucking lip smack? What the fuck?
Like in the primaries and midterms. They always have midterms are always bad for Republicans. That's like
so that's what I'm saying. If so
I would say that's too. That's not meaningful to like Republicans or Republican like politicians. It's most Republican politicians are probably.
Wait. I'm criticizing Stephen's orbiters because they're not defending Stephen hard enough. Am I DGG's propaganda minister? I'm kidding.
In 32, if they take a fat ass L in 28 and don't change, then But my point would be they did in 20 and then didn't change at all. In fact, they got worse in many, many ways. In every way, really.
They did get worse, but the issue is there's a couple of issues.
You would say that was the left's fault that they got worse.
Well, it's both of their faults, right? Like it's both the culture that happened, but also Republicans selling out to oligarchs, right? Like it's both. Like the Republicans,
true.
I guess. I hate that I always have to say this when we have these conversations. I'm left. Have a default assumption that I don't really love Republican principles. There's a reason I'm not fucking right wing. There's just a reason for it, right? I don't agree with it and I don't like them, right? So it's both, right? The right is bad in large part because they decided to sell out to bad principles. That's bad for themselves, right? It's not, but it's not solely the right's fault because it is constantly a dance going on between both parties. A strong left and a strong right requires them to have some level of synergy. And I would say that this is true for the left right now. I think the right, as much as they hate how the left is acting, I'm like, then stop fucking inciting war and they'll probably chill out. Like, don't get mad at the left. Stop being fucking insane and they'll probably chill out. Fuck, what was your other question in there? Oh.
Well, it's saying that like this whole like thing of like, okay, the left needs to moderate itself and chill the fuck out and just.
I mean, there's a kernel of truth. Yeah, I am Room 101 from 1984. Okay.
Discover like who they really are and like behave on on our side, then things can cool down. My point being that only works if they actually change their behavior.
Sure, I agree, but we can't.
If they don't, then none of it matters, right?
If we're viewing this like a game, which is like what Stephen is doing, right? There is no reason that we should be tying our win condition to something we can't even control, right? All we can do right now is make the left more compelling and hope that the left becomes compelling enough consistently and has an effective media apparatus, because right now we just don't have an effective media because we're still doing mainstream shit, right? That people are pulled to our side consistently to such a degree that Republicans go, oh, the Trump meta is a losing strategy now. Now we have to change. And in that change, God, I hope Republicans find fucking values in the midst of that. And we should try to work alongside Republicans that have fucking values to like try to encourage that. But it's ultimately going to be up to the Republicans to like right themselves. What the left should be concerned about is being compelling enough that we are consistently reaching the hearts and having effective alt media so that we can reach the voters.
Yeah, in general.
Is there both sides arc a new thing? No, it's not a new thing. Like, she's always been like this.
Generally, I would agree with you. I think like where he would divert a little bit, and this is actually the most important part of this entire conversation, because this is the part of his thing where I just kind of can't get away from in the back of my head, is that whilst it is so totally true that the only thing we can really, really technically do is just try to make ourselves so compelling that we just don't lose elections anymore. His view is that there must be some way to convince Republicans that it is in their own best interest to change their own behavior. And that is the kind of theory here of like, oh, you want me to denounce political violence? Have your fucking president do it first, right? It's in your best interest to change your behavior, and then everyone will change their behavior. Right? That's the idea.
It's just a bad look when you're mocking a widow. I'm sorry, when you're like walking.
It definitely looks bad. There's no doubt.
It's not just that it looks bad. It's inhuman. Like any human person.
Captain, I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm tired.
Person can't connect with that. Like it is fundamentally breaks our conception of how like the social paradigm should work. Widows, unfortunately, of assassination kind of get maximal social benefit of the doubt. They just do. And you might be like, yeah, but they're using it for political aims and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's true. And it's kind of weird. And you can say that privately and publicly. Unfortunately, she gets to do whatever the fuck she wants with her grief, including weaponizing it to do political ends so that her husband's dream doesn't die. She's allowed to do that. It kind of makes sense. We would expect somebody on the left to do the same thing.
Sure. Did you have because I agree with that. Because I agree with that. Like, there's
Wait, hold on. She's such a retard for this. Sorry. The thing, if she is using it, I'm sorry, if she is using it to weaponize in terms of using her fucking, her husband's death for political ends, shouldn't she also have the right to be criticized for that? Like, it's not like she gains immunity. It's not like she gains immunity because she's doing it, right? That's fucking retarded, right? Nobody thinks that she should be granted immunity. That's insane. Because you're basically arguing that she should have immunity from criticism, right? From her argument that, oh yeah, it's inhuman to criticize her, right? But at the same time that, yeah, it's expected for her to fucking politicize her husband's death. That's unhinged. That's actually unhinged. But
nothing you can say about there's nothing you can say to or about her that's not going to look fucking unhinged. It's just impossible.
Yep.
Do you have particular feelings about the comment? He's been getting a lot of shit for the comment about saying like Republicans should be afraid to go out in their events. Do you have particular feelings about that comment?
Yeah,
because I think it exemplifies perfectly the point I'm trying to drive home. So
I don't know why Republicans should be afraid to go out to their own events. Like, the reality is that everyone should be afraid of going out to their events because political violence is ratcheting up. But I don't want Republicans to feel like Republicans will feel more afraid, and the same way that liberals do too. And I think that that's bad for everyone. I don't want anyone to feel afraid.
Sure, I'm going to translate that to what I take that to mean. I think what he's getting at is that every side should feel the true weight of the consequences of the whatever they're participating in, right? So when he's saying Republicans should be afraid, he's not saying.
But by the way, I just want to say, like, this isn't any different. This isn't any different from what I kind of expect the like Erudite's takes to be, right? Like, I think that this is like very in line with her character, like very in line with Erudite's own character, right? But the thing is that like even then, I don't think it's a defense. Like, again, I don't think it's a defense. I think that if this is who she is, then I'm gonna criticize who she is, right? If that makes sense. Like, I'm just gonna criticize who she is if this is who she is, right? It's not like you become immune to criticism the moment you say that, oh yeah, this is just a part of my personality, right? Yeah. Oh, you don't understand. Being annoying is just a part of my personality. Yeah? So you're annoying. I'm still going to criticize you for being annoying. Yeah.
He doesn't mean it in like a threatening tone or like a threatening way of like, I'm trying to incite my fans to violence, that you should be afraid in that type of way. I don't look at it like in like a incitement to violence type of way, more so in a, your actions would be different if you were afraid. For instance, if it was the case, if it was absolutely true that Republicans now, Republican pundits, because I mean, if anything, Republican pundits are the people that have the most to fear at the moment, right? One of them got killed. So inherently, the rest of them have the biggest reason of anyone to be afraid. If that was the case, though, if they really, 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 truly were terrified at the moment, there's no universe in which they would be like almost unanimously calling for civil war, correct?
Not necessarily true.
So if you're afraid of something happening to you, you should feed into the system that would allow that thing to happen to you?
Well, the issue is that they're in their minds, like if we're taking their position, right? What they're afraid of is like them having a rally and an assassin showing up and like mass shooting. In the case of like civil war, right? Now everyone's fucking dying, right? So like when you're talking about like inciting violence, like part of it is not that serious to me because I think that people like just are babies. I think I've realized that just like both sides are fucking children when it comes to violence. They have like no conception of what war is, right? And so are they participating in the exact thing? Yeah, because like their anger at his death is greater right now when they're making that tweet than their fear of going out in public. But when they go out in public,
there's like two problems in this space. And yes, they are both problems, okay? When it comes to NotSoErudite, okay? There are people who are simps, and then there are people who are unhinged haters, okay? There are people there are some DGGers and Present Sunday and the anti-fans who hate her just because they're sexist, okay? And yeah, I do actually think they're sexist. They constantly make allusions to her fucking dogs, okay? So yeah, I do think it's sexism. Now, for the record, and then we have the other side who are like constant simps for her, okay, will defend everything that it constantly paint her as the perpetual victim, even though she is her own fucking person as well, and she is her own fucking adult, right? And will say like, oh yeah, because NotSoErudite is so victimized by the anti-fans that she, like, any kind of criticism towards NotSoErudite feels like a personal attack or some shit, right? Well, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but the truth of the matter is that you just find NotSoErudite hot. I just noticed like every single like unhinged NotSoErudite defender finds her hot. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, you need to clear your mind. You need to reboot your hard drive. Okay, Jesus Christ. Either you hate women too much, or you find your mind is too blinded by your dick. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, she's a normal person. Okay, have some fucking like just fucking criticize her like a normal person. Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway.
Might start like worrying a little bit more about that tweet that they made the other day. You know, like it's like people are not at all times working in like the long-term most rational things. This is why like people who are in like lawsuits might keep posting publicly when they shouldn't otherwise be posting, because like we do shit that's against like our greater thing that we should value all the time.
True. I would give them that benefit of the doubt probably the first 72 hours after. But it's been longer than that, and we still have Republican pundits making the same dumbass comments. So I don't know if I would give them that same charity anymore. It kind of seems like
I'm not giving pundits any charity. I'm not even giving pundits the first charity.
I would give them the first charity. Like, look, in the first like day or two, you're
actually. I just want to say, you know what? Simping for a woman and then defending all of her takes is in fact also sexism, okay? That's also sexism, all right? It just is, but okay.
Fucking furious. You're upset. Like, you're going to say stupid ass shit. But if after 2-3 days you delete those tweets and you're like, all right, guys, look, we got to calm down. All right, we got to chill. Then I'll be like, okay, he came to his senses. The problem is that has not happened. If it's still the same for a lot of people. And the point I think that he was trying to drive home there is if there was that true fear of, oh my God, my life is in danger, I would think that after a while you would come to your senses and be like, I think I need to do what I can on my side to push the rhetoric in a down, or, you know, the heat into a downward direction. But we're not saying that. And what's going on there?
I think right-wing pundits, a large portion of them, like the right wing is really effective at unifying behind like a greater goal. And it's pretty clear that right now Trump's goal is absolutely not to cool things down. I also suspect that right-wing pundits, like the mainstream ones especially, are very much chasing bot likes and saying
I swear to God, if I see another single father of two defend every single one of Erudite's takes, or you're a single like white man in your 30s and you defend Erudite like nonstop, I will end you. I will end you. We will pick a fight with one another, okay?
Citing stuff gets them more and more engagement, which is why they keep doing it.
You are cringe.
I think
incarnate.
That like this is true of the left, like the fringe left, like Hassan's and these type of, and like Jackson Hinkles and stuff. Although I don't even know if he's a fucking left person anymore. I think they're also oftentimes chasing like Russian and Chinese bots that are like always liking the insightful stuff. The problem is that like on the Republican punditry side, their leader is like setting the tone for like what they're talking about. And so like while they're like talking about civil like violence being like bad and how they're like worried about it and also like inciting, I think it's because like they're not thinking about this. First of all, they're not thinking about this like game theory, and second of all of their tweets that are like inflammatory and all these things go fucking viral all the time. So they're going to keep leaning into it because content creators are going to keep milking the thing that's working.
Okay. The argument that I would like to present is that I think along with Stephen, this is the point that he made. I just agree. I don't think that they're actually afraid of the consequences of their actions in any way, shape, or form ever. By example of this is the Trump v. US decision. When that decision was made, every single person on the left was fucking horrified because they're like, holy Jesus Christ, the president is immune from criminal liability. Oh God, not one Republican gave a solitary fuck, because there is no concern from the right that Joe Biden is going to go do a whole slew of criminally actions that he would be found criminally liable for, and he's going to get away with it because he's now immune from that. But we know Trump will. So we are actually we have a true, genuine fear of the consequences of bad actions. I don't think that they do, and I think they showed it as soon as that decision came down from SCOTUS. It was like, oh, you're not afraid of what Biden would do. You never were, because you're not talking about this at all like it's horrible. But we were horrified on our side.
Maybe I guess maybe it's a mind read. Like, you guys are mind reading in such a way. You can. Unfortunately, like, it's a mind read. I don't really have a super strong weighing in on like whether they're legitimately afraid of civil war or not. I think that they don't care, but like, why the fuck would most pundits care about like civil war? Are they being like maybe too carte blanche and should be like more concerned about like genuine assassinations?
You should debate her. She's free to call in anytime, okay? And for the record, I've tried to debate her before on another issue. And like I was like waiting in the wait room for like 2 to 3 hours, I think, at some point. And then she never dragged me in. It was on another issue, to be fair. But like, whatever, man. Dude, it's fine.
Probably, but I think a lot of them like probably genuinely believe that they'd rather like die for free speech than like be silenced. I think that that's probably decently legitimate from a lot of them. Like they would accept death.
True.
I just think that,
but I think I think that I wouldn't criticize that if that's what I believe. If that's where I believed it was coming from, like they're saying, like I would rather just have a civil war than have free speech go away. Then I wouldn't even criticize that. I would join. I would agree. I'd be like, yeah, I mean, me too. I'll die for it if I have to.
well, more like they don't.
The Constitution.
They don't.
But I don't think that's what's happening.
No. I think like Ben Shapiro, when he thinks about like what he's saying and stuff, like really, I think he probably most people probably take for granted that civil war is very far away and very unlikely to happen. Like, I think a lot of people, even though they're like inciting it, especially like on the side that is the one doing the inciting, I think the thing feels very far away. There might be some level of confidence of like, well, if a civil war happens, we've got all the guns, we've got all the military, we'll probably just dumpster them anyways. I don't think most people are thinking that much about that. Probably like when I try to think about like how these humans are interacting, these very non-human humans, because they're pundits, are they worried about a civil war? No, they're probably more legitimately worried about an assassination attempt. But I think a lot of them genuinely believe that they would be willing to die to continue to like say what they say, because I think that a lot of them
say what you
believe
want.
what they're saying.
Say
and
everything.
so like I guess to some extent, I agree that they should be.
Martini, shaken, not stirred.
I need to witness Foodshops become a women hater and declare scroll her hate for them.
Thanks. I appreciate that. For the $5. Daniel Liddick. Honestly, I think she's coming around, especially after her debate with Ryan tonight. She said she's feeling very black-pilled. After this debate? No way, right?
I don't know if they care about a civil war necessarily. They care more about assassinations. I just don't think they think that a civil war is likely. Like, most of them don't think that they're inciting civil war.
By saying that we should have one.
What?
You don't think that they think they're inciting civil war by saying that there should be a civil war?
That's not what I said.
You said you don't think a lot of them think that they're inciting civil war, but a lot of them are saying we should have one.
Yeah.
Unless I missed something.
Yes.
Wait,
so like that is the view that you think like a lot of like conservative pundits don't think that saying we should have a civil war is inciting to civil war?
I think a lot of them would say
because they view it so far away that like they think that like nothing they could say is actually inciting a civil war. Because
okay, she doesn't believe this, right? Like, there's no way she believes this, right? That political pundits are not trying to incite a civil war because they don't believe that a civil war is coming? What? I'm so confused. What is her take? I'm so confused. What? She has to be memeing.
Because it's just not a thing that's going to happen.
I think their feelings feel so justified and
shaken, not stirred.
Everyone, did you exercise today? The fascist did. Why haven't you?
Simric, thank you so much for $5. I'm just gonna say, fascists these days do not exercise, okay? I think somebody in voice chat said that they went to the shooting range to shoot, and they saw a bunch of like magatards around also practicing like shooting, because they were trying to train for the Civil War or something, and they're all like fucking morbidly obese, okay? So yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
their rage that when they say like, yeah, we should have this thing, they basically would say like, well, it's not inciting, like, it's not going to happen. I'm not trying to incite civil war. And probably if you push them more, they go, if it happened, then it has to happen. I believe in this thing, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like we keep it. I don't know. It feels like you're ascribing to them.
I would agree with that. The thing is, I would agree with that. No, it's not even that. My whole take, and I think, I mean, he's not here to say it, but I think this is kind of his Steven's whole point is when you say, when you're on Twitter, when you're a fucking huge Republican, you're a huge pundit, millions of followers, and you're on Twitter saying we should have a civil war.
Over 3 inches
you should.
Or BMI under 40.
The fact that you're saying that, and this totally agree. Like, the thing is, I agree with what you're saying.
The main ones I see like actually explicitly saying have a civil war is like Tim Pool, but he's always saying, I literally just disregard Tim Pool. I'm pretty sure he's just chasing bots. I don't think he believes anything he's saying on Twitter. He's chasing bot likes. Is Matt Walsh?
I think there's a non-zero chance he is a bot.
I think Matt Walsh is the main one that you could point to and go, I would say he's explicitly. Most of the others that talked about it, they like...
Wait, what? But is Tim Pool not a humongous figure? Like, is Tim Pool not, like isn't Tim Pool like isn't Tim Pool like one of the largest? Like, you can't just say, well, everyone except for Tim Pool, and then Tim Pool just has this massive audience that he appeals to, right? Oh my god.
Fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene said, well, I want a civil, peaceful divorce, right? So it's like she's literally running away from the Civil War thing. She's like, I want to be separate from them, but not through war, right? Like, the only one that I think is like Matt Walsh, and I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Walsh is somewhat knowingly inciting civil war. He just doesn't care because he knows the rhetoric is is like violent enough. He probably knows he's rich that he could flee, right? Like he's probably just not that worried about civil war. He probably thinks that he'll win. I don't think that like even Tim Pool, is he inciting it or fear mongering about it? I think a lot of them would probably say that they're fear mongering about it, right? Like a lot of the people that you could point to, like even like Trump, like I hate my enemies and stuff like that. I'm like never willing. He's like not willing to denounce belief. If you get into the mindset of a conservative, again, now I guess I need to say this, I disagree with them. I think it is fundamentally inciting violence, but the way that they would likely view this is, I'm not trying to incite it. I'm saying that this is going to happen. I'm saying that this is what's going to happen. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's a bad thing. Like they're fear mongering more than they're trying to be like, yes, let's do it. Arm up. In the way that like Vosh was saying, like arm up, or the revolutionary Antifa losers are saying arm up, right? They're more so fear mongering about it in a way that I would point to and go, this is just inciting.
Sure. I don't know. This isn't relevant, but I would say whenever you get the fucking weirdo Antifa people calling for revolution, I think that there is a really, really spooky, scary difference between them saying it and like conservatives saying it. Because if we were to have some sort of revolution or civil war,
there's more tankies.
The tankies of America are getting fucking smoked quick.
The right has teeth to their bone.
The right would probably win, to be honest. So it's scary there. Like when Vosh says, I'm like, shut up, bitch. Like you're gonna get ran through.
Sure. It's also
not that that's relevant. It's just a little scarier.
Just like caution people on what they assume. I just don't know where the temperature of the population is at, right? Like I had my experiences at Colorado, which
okay, we need better white women in this space, okay, as well, all right? Okay. I've made memes about Drew Pavlo not being a good representation of Australians in this space, okay? But we need better white women as well, okay? We need a hardcore, not gonna back down, okay? Fucking Anna Kasparian personality white woman, okay? All right, but with actually correct takes, okay? Fuck Anna Kasparian, but with actually correct takes, okay? Like, these cannot be your representatives in this space, okay? These cannot be your white women representatives. These cannot be your Australian representatives, okay? Oh my god. Give me a break.
It was conservatives being very calm, very vehemently being like, oh, Trump said that? No, that's bad. Like, that's not okay, right? We had several conservatives come up on mic and denounce their own conservatives and be like, guys, like we do need to cool things down. Like I want to have a good conversation, right? And then we also saw conservatives screaming like slurs and clearly like not leaning against. So like I grant that there are both of these camps. The question is, the one camp screaming and inciting is really loud, and they're probably also getting botted like crazy by Russia and China.
Pepe LAG invested $9.
Oh my gosh, I finally got a super chat. That's crazy.
Shu is sad because all of her friends and her husband are right-wing.
Now I need
Lefties dumped her.
Hey, just a reminder, okay? If you have not liked the stream, please like the stream, okay? Please, I would really, really appreciate it, okay? I would love you forever if you do it. If you like the stream, okay? In addition to liking the stream, all right? I would really appreciate it as well if you could donate as well, okay? If you donate on Streamlabs, your information is not private, okay? However, I do get the biggest cut. You can always donate on Kick, okay? You can also donate on YouTube, all right? There are many ways to donate. Be kind to your local streamer, okay? This is how I get my money. That's how I get my paycheck, okay? Yes, I do actually do this full time. I contribute so many fucking hours to this fucking bullshit every day, okay? So please, okay? For the love of God. Sate some of my sanity, save some of it, and become my therapist, okay? The only therapy I should receive is money, okay? It's fucking money. Also, I have a proper therapist, okay? Because I take care of my mental health, and I actually take care of myself, okay? So you're welcome. I saw the dermatologist today. I take care of my mental health. I take care of my health problems. This is why I'm the most based and epic. You get all your correct. Listen, as long as you take care of your entire health and you take care of every single facet of your existence, you will always have the correct opinion, okay? All right, there you go.
Over trivial BS, and now she's in a big echo chamber. You should reach out and be her token liberal friend.
Okay. Holy shit, that fucking stun locked my brain. Inciting, fear-mongering. Bots.
Shaken, not stirred.
September ended. Time to wake up. He guy from Green Day musical notes. Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Musical notes.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That's probably some boomer song, but I appreciate the $5.
Spots. So it's really hard for me to get a pulse on what the actual population feels, because even now, when you look at the polling on Trump, I think he's like one of the, if not now, the most unpopular president in history, right? So it's like, yeah, the MAGA people are rabid for him, and they're trying to milk that fucking cash cow for as long as they can. And there's some MAGA people in everyone's personal life that everyone knows and can think of that's really fucking obnoxious about it. And then there's a whole bunch of MAGA people and conservatives that we're never thinking of or ever even thinking about talking to that probably have a lot more reasonable takes, especially when they're not in their echo chamber, right? Like, how much of this inciting and this craziness is groupthink? How much of it is bots? And how much of it is like the silent majority?
Even Vosh is in a better shape than Eric. Jesus Christ. I don't think that's true. I just don't think that's true. I think Vosh still has a lot of weight to lose. But it's just that, like, yeah. I think he still has weight to lose, okay?
Not speaking up against it. And I have genuinely no idea. Really? Because I don't even have the idea on my left side. I thought most of us on the left agreed that, like, celebrating the assassination of a political opponent, even if it was somebody who we disagreed with a lot with, is really, really bad. But there is a lot more people than I am comfortable with celebrating it than I even thought, right? Going to Colorado and seeing the fucking chalk writing about, like, there's no peace for fascists. We won't mourn fascists. It's kind of like, maybe this is worse than I thought it was, right? I don't think anyone has a super good pulse on, like, what real people think. And that's really concerning.
Sure. Yeah. I think, to wrap up a little bit, I think descriptively, I agree with you pretty much 100%. I think your, like, observations of the situation are very, very
or disagreeing
on point.
With him doesn't matter if they turn around and vote for him.
I'm sorry, pause. My fucking super chat is going off again. Yeah, I just need to figure out how to pause it. It should be good now. Go ahead. From the top.
Yeah, descriptively, I think you're bang on. I think you've got your observations are right on, nailed it. The prescription of it feels like a level of pacificity that just is untenable. If for no other reason than because the most important thing over the next 10 years is whether or not the Republicans, mostly Republican pundits and politicians. I think I think you nailed it with the average person is not this much of a psycho. And when you tell them about these Trump actions and these Trump statements, they're like, whoa, what the fuck? I've experienced that exact same thing in my own life, debating people, doing like TikTok debates, talking to people in real life. I've experienced that exact same phenomena. So I think you're right again there. But Republican politicians and Republican pundits changing their tune, changing their behavior, changing their fucking views on some things, coming a little more inwards, like, hey, fascism's not cool. And I don't mean like fascism in like the leftists call everything a fascist type way. I mean, like, legitimately. So I think that is the most important thing. That's like one thing that absolutely 100% non-negotiable has to happen over the next couple of years. And I don't know if the pacifism prescription. And I don't mean pacifism as in like, fuck it, we should have a war. I mean like let's all just be super nice and don't say anything mean about Erica and let's all chill the fuck out. I don't know if that achieves that goal at all.
Sure. From Scorn One says the Republicans saying what Trump said was bad or disagreeing with him doesn't matter if they turn around and vote for him. And she was sad because all her friends and her husband are right wing. Lefties dumped her over trivial bullshit, and now she's in a big echo chamber. You should reach out and be her token liberal friend. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
For shoe on head?
I agree that if they turn around and vote for him, it's really bad. The issue is that we have had deeply unelectable people for a lot of like Biden switching for Kamala Harris was fucking insane. It was just insane. I understand why it happened, but it's like we were nerfed. Like we were so fucked. Hillary Clinton, I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, but that's a hindsight Andy opinion. That is such a retarded take. Dude, that's such a hindsight Andy like kind of thing. You're only saying this because what has happened has already happened. And you get the benefit of the past already happening for you to make this take. That's hindsight Andy. Hindsight Andy is when you look into the past and you pick out a timeline. You get to predict the future from the past, right? You get to predict the future from the past when the past has already happened, right? You don't know whether or not that's going to be true. You don't know whether or not, like, Biden should have stayed in the race or not, right? Was a good idea. It could entirely be the case that Biden stays in the race and we still would have lost, right? We don't know whether or not that's true. So the thing is that, like, again, you just don't know. You don't know, okay? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is a stupid take. But yeah.
Shit that they pulled with Bernie during Hillary's run was deplorable. Like,
oh my God.
Deplorable behavior. Painting Bernie bros as misogynist and all this shit because he was just popular was disgusting. And it was this classic.
That was the primaries, though, wasn't it? Yeah, of course you're gonna go hard at each other, like, for the fucking primaries. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you? Why the fuck wouldn't you go hard at each other during the primaries? It's the fucking primaries. It is Democrat versus Democrat, right? Fuck that shit. Well, who cares?
Democrat thing that the Republicans have somehow stopped doing, which is that when the people really love a politician, the Democrats are like, well, we don't really love him, so we're gonna like fucking nuke him, right? Like everyone should look at the Clinton election and be ashamed of Democrats. It was insane. Even if you say, as chat's saying, Bernie was still not going to win, then why the fuck paint him the way that they
Has Steven ever pushed her back on, like, the takes about Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders? I feel like I don't have enough information to push back on this one, but she just sounds retarded, like, just plainly flat out, okay? I'm gonna be totally honest, okay? Like, dude.
They did. There's no need for it. There's literally no need for it. It was an abomination. Clinton was a terrible choice. A terrible fucking choice. She's so utterly unelectable because she's been a war hawk for like 30 years. So her own base doesn't even like her that much. It was...
Bro, this is like the most lefty fucking takes I've ever heard Erudite say. Like, not saying that this is like... Not saying... Again, she hates lefties, right? She hates lefties, like... But, like, this is like such a Bernie bro take. It's like, she is a Bernie bro. Oh my God. Yeah, how dare Hillary politics during an election campaign? I'm sorry that she actually has the political history because she's a successful politician. I'm sorry that she has the political history to like back up anything that she does, I guess, right? Oh my God.
Fucking stupid. So like, I don't know. I get frustrated with these conversations when the left is like, yeah, but like, don't you agree that the right is so bad? It's like, why the fuck? I'm part of Unfuck America tour. I don't know what else I need to do to perform that I like agree with you on this. The issue is, maybe this is like my bad. I kind of believe in the stoic belief.
What? Maybe don't fucking backstab Tiny like during the fucking tour. Hello? Not saying that she okay, sorry, backstab is too strong of a word. maybe don't like fucking do this like fucking weird fucking shit. I guess I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to say? Yeah. Sorry, not backstab. Undermine. Maybe don't undermine. Listen, okay. In fact, if anything, okay, you undermining Tiny during the fucking during the Unfuck America tour is just like how Bernie Sanders was undermined by Hillary Clinton. Okay, boom. All right, there you go.
That like all you can control is you, right? So all the left can control is ourselves. And our win condition cannot be tied to Trump and Republicans smartening up. We just can't do it. And so we need better answers. Even if I agree that we're at a disadvantage right now and things are really hard and there are double standards erected where we punish the left for that we just don't care what the Republicans do, I would just grant all of this shit. And I would say we still need to act better. We still need to be denouncing violence, and we need to stop taking our conservative fatigue out on people and then calling it strategy. Just say that you're venting your anger. I'd accept that. But right now, we're increasingly seeing the left starting to double down on the destiny policy, which is that actually maybe we should be super nasty towards these people. And it's like, bro, we've been nasty to Republicans at least since 2016. Like, we were fucking awful to them. So like, we literally nuked them off of platforms. So I don't know what the fuck you're saying. We've been so nice and now we're being nasty. The difference is we just never fucking incited war, which is good. It's good that we have that high ground. That's awesome. We need a couple more.
She's losing it.
Drew, the only issue I would take with anything you said is I don't think that, well, I think he does. I think Steven thinks that like what he's doing right now is a strategy, and he thinks that it has a better chance of changing Republicans' minds. I think he believes that. I think he's wrong. My argument would be that neither your prescription nor his will change Republicans' minds. I think they're locked. I think the goal would be to scoop up some moderates and then activate as many left-wing voters as humanly possible.
Yeah,
because Republicans, they're never changing their minds ever. That's not happening.
Yeah, like deep red, but like nobody should ever be pursuing like the deep red or deep blue base.
No, well, electorally, no, never.
You're always pursuing the moderates. But the issue is,
electorally, no.
We need to figure out what we did to drive the moderates away, because
I mean, we kind of know, don't we?
I don't know if we do. I don't know if we do.
Well, who's we? I think we know. Well, like I said at the beginning of this, 2016, I like if this was 2016, I would say I'm a Republican. Well, yeah, if this was pre-Trump era, I would call myself a Republican. I just can't anymore because they've fucking lost the plot. But so yes, we know why we push them away.
Sure.
It's just a matter of, does the DNC know why we push them away?
But then all we do is fucking complain about Republicans all the fucking time, constantly. We're just constantly fucking complaining.
But they are worse. Like, so it's, I mean, it's
and
like
yet
kind of
we're
logical.
losing to them. They're so much worse principally and morally and all these things.
Oh my god, dude, Erudite is so close to getting it, dude. Like, I feel like she's so close to getting it. She's like literally right there. Like, Erudite is like literally right there, okay? Like, she's literally right there. She gets it. She understands, right? That you can tell she understands. Why is it that we're still losing moderates? Just think, she's right there, okay? Why is it that we're losing moderates, despite the fact that the Democrats have not been fucking extreme, right? Why is that the case? Seriously. Just think about it, okay? Maybe it's because the moderates have been manipulated. The moderates have been manipulated to accept the double standards as normal. It shouldn't be accepted as normal, right? You shouldn't accept this as acceptable double standards, right? But they've been, over time, all the moderates have been manipulated to accept the double standards as normal. That's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. You shouldn't be reactive to that group of people. You shouldn't be reactive to the poisoned moderate base, okay? Maybe when they were still unpoisoned, you should 100% be trying to appeal to them, right? When they were unpoisoned, right? But at this point, like right now, at this point, no. Not with this, not with like how fuck these double standards are, right? with how fucked these double standards are, like I'm good, okay? I'm good with not appealing to them, okay? Because they can turn on a hat, right? You can spend an entire afternoon trying to convince moderates to vote for the left, and then the next day they'll watch some fucking Fox News clip or clip on Twitter, and then like they'll vote right again, I guess, because a simple fucking like clipped video is enough to convince them, right? That's how mind poisoned they are, okay? That's how I would rather not. They're too volatile, too unstable, and disloyal, okay? Disloyal to the left. They're much more loyal to the right, okay? Yeah. If you saw her debate tonight, it was amazing. Wick had to jump in afterwards, desperate to convince her to not give up on moderates. Wait, did something happen? Is she changing her mind? Huh?
And we are getting dumpstered by them over and over and over again.
Doesn't that say more about the average American than it does anything else? Like,
that's your voter.
If we can agree, if we can both agree, like, yeah, they are way worse.
Sure, maybe. If it says something about your average American, then move or abandon democracy, right? Or you go, okay, well, the average American is people that we hopefully can believe in a little bit, that is maybe being propagandized to, because the right has a much more effective alt media machine, right? So they're being propagandized to, so we're clearly losing in the rhetoric and like propaganda machine, essentially. And we are deeply unlikable and can't hang. So we might have better policies. We do have better policies. But the veneer of the left says we care about the widow and the orphan and people of color. I'm just going to
The Poll Dollar E invested $5. The problem if the moderates is willing to vote for a person who created January 6th, then we're fucked.
They said the problem is if moderates is willing to vote for a person who created January 6th, then we're fucked. Most moderates don't even understand January 6th. Because the alt media pipeline is so effective on the right that they actually just don't know what to think of it. They have no idea. They're being like, is it an insurrection? Like, there is some bad stuff, but it doesn't seem like as bad as insurrection sounds. And again, you and I literally said, it's the spirit of what was being intended that was so bad. And it's like, nobody even understands enough about their own civics to understand what that is. That's like
the problem. You have to have so much background knowledge to understand what the fuck was what was like being perpetuated there.
What?
Yeah, we're really, really, really bad at it. And we're also really bad at like blasting out and being super, super, super upset when like people get killed, in large part because like we never want to be on the side of the police. So we didn't get to take advantage of any of the police assaults in any way, shape, or form, right? Like, we just nuke ourselves constantly by being deeply unlikable, and because we made a deal with...
Why are we deeply unlikable? How did it get to this point? So, you already agree that the double standards thing is there, okay? How are we still so unlikable? What do you think we're doing wrong? Do we need to be nicer now? Like, even nicer than now. You know? Dinner table issues? Why is that?
Communists to like take over our political culture, that we became even more unlikable. Like, if we have this policy that would suggest that we're really nice, full of mercy, gentle people, and then people hang out with us and we just fucking suck all the time and get mad at you about words, the moderate's going to be driven away, right? And the policy stuff, the policy game is so hard because it's really hard to communicate the complexity of policies that are needed in today's like markets. It's just really hard. I think that we have better policy and we should keep working on how to sell that policy, but we also have to win the media culture, and we are just taking...
Oh yeah, guys, just a reminder, okay? Join my Discord, okay? Discord.gg/Foodshops, okay? Discord.gg/Foodshops, okay? Please, we have an awesome community. Join us, okay? We're lovely people. Please join us, okay? We're good people. We're good people. We're lovely people, okay? Please join us. Meow. Join us.
Big fat
Discord.gg/Foodshops.
Our media is dog shit. That is an absolute, that's absolutely true. Which is why, UFA existing is dope and based. Not that it's like is more Tor than media, but hey, we can always branch out. Secondly, on the point of J6 being horrific, but people just not knowing, what actually went down there. I blame that 100% on Destiny. Where the fuck is the J6 video? It's entirely his fault. Secondly, I'll end on this. So I was saving my personal.
I know when the J6 video is coming out, okay? When Short Fat Taco's trucker video is coming out, okay?
Anecdote for last, because I think it exemplifies a huge problem that we face, and I don't know how to solve this. Maybe you'll have an idea of like, what can be done about this. So I dropped this into the UFA chat after it happened. I don't know if you saw. After the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and after Destiny started being a little unhinged, a little is underplaying it massively. After he started being unhinged on Twitter, and articles started getting written about it. He got featured on Fox News, I think. Yeah, all the works. My mom called me, and pled with me for about an hour. Pled with me, literally begging, that I leave UFA and publicly denounce Destiny, because she was afraid that Trump would eventually throw all of the UFA people, into prison for his comments. And I asked her towards the end of that conversation, after arguing about how that was just stupid in general, towards the end of it, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I kind of overlooked something massive here. You are so appalled and disgusted by the things that Destiny said that you think that something that might happen, something that genuinely might occur, is that we all get thrown into jail over it.
Yep.
All the people that are just tangentially connected to him through UFA get tossed into jail over it. And you are still a Trump supporter, correct? And she said yes. What? So she believes that it is something that he would do. That is in his character. That is within his. That is a thing that man would do to people. Still supports him, but yeah.
Stop smacking your lips. I'll keep smacking my lips. Okay, I'll keep doing it. Okay, I'm gonna smack my lips even harder. I'm gonna make this sound just to piss you off on purpose. Okay.
Yep. Begged me to leave UFA for being tangentially connected to Destiny. What the fuck? How do we solve how do we solve a problem like that in this country?
I don't know your mom. I don't know. Like having.
It's not just her.
Sorry.
That is that is a not uncommon view amongst.
I agree.
People.
I agree.
Brain rot.
The issue is like.
I'm sorry. Is it yummy?
Respectfully, I don't give a fuck about conservative MAGA boomers at all. I care about like moderate 35-year-olds.
I'm sorry.
That's who I mostly care
I'm still
about.
brain rotted.
Because they're voting and they're still. I mean, you shouldn't like the
in my personal life. That's not what I'm saying. Not like fuck my parent. No, I mean like just be like I don't care what you people think.
Well, at the personal level, deep canvassing is the only way to reach those type of people. If you're talking about people like solidly in a red camp, I'm going to pause again because there's money coming in.
Invested $5. Can you name me a left-wing leaning influencer or podcaster that had the ear of the Democrat politicians like the right have with Trump?
I understand, Stephen's mom is the exact same way.
The person said, can you name me a left-leaning influencer or podcaster that had the ear of the Democrat politicians like the right have with Trump? I don't need to, because I've never for once said that Republicans are better. Like what? I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this performance where I'm like equating these two things, because I'm not equating these two things.
Yeah, it's bad. We all agree. It's bad.
What I'm saying is stop fucking complaining. What do you want me to say? Get good. And yes, the obstacles are monumentous. They're very hard. And the other team is cheating a lot. But we've all just agreed that we don't actually want the Democrats to cheat. Because I even said to Stephen, well, why don't we just start spreading misinformation and make like crazy conspiracy theories? Boomers love that shit. And most people are like, no, I don't want to do that. I think misinformation is worse. Like, I think that's bad.
Did he say that? Did he say he didn't want to do that?
Yeah, he doesn't want to do misinfo.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. At least because I can see a world in which he's like, you know what? You're right. Fuck it.
Most people on the left are like, yeah, we shouldn't do like misinfo. So it's like, okay, we've already just agreed that we want to be more principled.
Hold on. The reason why we don't want to do misinfo is because there's already plenty of information that already exists that should destroy the right. You don't need to do disinformation. You don't need to do disinformation and misinformation. If the content already exists, that is enough to destroy and discredit the right, right? in a world where you don't have enough information, you don't have enough to do something like that, then yeah, you can make a better argument for it. But right now, yeah, there's no reason to do it just simply because like there's already plenty of truth out there to discredit the right, that you can like hinge your fight on. But yeah, in a world where they don't have as many scandals, or not like they're a perfect fascist regime that is perfect, right? That is like scandalous or something. Yeah, of course. I totally support it, okay?
So now what we have to do is get good. Like, yes, we are the underdog. Yes, we're having higher standards for ourselves than the Republicans are having for themselves. And we are also being treated like we are worse. And yes, that's bullshit. And yes, that makes it really difficult. But also, if democracy matters, if we actually care about it, then the reality is that we have to just keep updating our strategy. And I believe that, like, Democrats, you guys are apparently the...
This has to be fake, right? The World Factbook references terrorist organizations, Destiny.gg. That is definitely fake.
More moral, more educated, smart, more social media in touch group. Fucking figure it out. There's got to be a plan, a solution that can work here. There's no world that we just... Or, I guess democracy's over. Or, if the voters are the problem, the democracy's over. You shouldn't care about democracy anymore anyways. But I think we do care about democracy, and we do care about these things, so we have to stop fucking complaining about how the right is worse. It's dumb. If you're playing Counter-Strike, and every time you lost, you called cheats, even if it's true, but you never did any aim training, you never learn callouts, and you only use your pistol, you fucking suck. Stop complaining. Start training.
What was that analogy?
About these things. So we have to stop fucking complaining about how the right is worse. It's dumb. If you're playing Counter-Strike, and every time you lost, you called cheats, even if it's true, but you never did any aim training, you never learn callouts, and you only use your pistol, you fucking suck. Stop complaining. Start training. Get better. Work together. Support Unfuck America. Support Chorus.
Oh, yeah, I guess that analogy works, okay. I was gonna make fun of her.
Support David Pakman. Like, support people who are doing good things, and stop working with communists.
True. And also use my donation link, not cut. No, I'm kidding. Okay. I swear to God, I swear to you, I'm not bullshitting. This is my actual last question because you reminded me super hard of it. You take the view, which you're generally probably correct on, that there are certain aspects of what the right has become that is left wing, that is our fault.
K-Max
What do you think
McDonald
about the
invested
concept
$20.
of prosecuting
The GOP
crimes
uses this
that were
tactic
born
of
in the Trump
attacking liberal
administration
cities as
when we
chaotic
take
and
back
lawless?
everything, assuming
Democrats
we take back
always
everything.
run big complex cities
One
like
second,
New
just
York
pausing
or
for money.
Chicago, and the right uses these cities to malign liberal governance. Is this solvable?
Okay, the GOP uses the tactic of
The poll
attacking liberal
dollar
city.
E
Oh,
invested $5. No,
Sorry.
this comment was from your comment
broke.
about that we let the
I'm broke,
far
so money
left take
matters.
over our party. In reality, ignores them
Yeah, same,
constantly.
get it.
That's why I can't name one.
TikTok's my main source of income, and that looks like it's about to go bye-bye. So
Yeah. The GOP uses this tactic attacking liberal cities as chaotic and lawless. Democrats always run big, complex cities like New York or Chicago, and the right uses these cities to malign. Is this solvable? I think it's solvable by like abundance rhetoric of being like, yeah, like these are, just like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was able to sell the Second Amendment by being like, some gun deaths are a problem that we're willing to have. Yes, these cities
Cinema.
have lots of problems. They're also the major GDP outputs. They're also the technology hubs and centers. Like, just keep doing that. The answer to your mom, what do you do with your mom? Hopefully,
Sorry.
you can keep talking to your mom. Like,
Not
deep
funny.
canvassing, I think, is the only way to reach like solid base members and like move them, because at that point they are almost giving up a religion to switch their political identity. I just think moderates are a lot more reachable. I don't care about convincing my crazy AI.
They're not. I don't know why she's saying this, but they're not. Okay, they're really, really not reachable. I literally cannot stress enough how unreachable they are. Okay, like, because convincing them is not the problem. Did you guys know that? Convincing moderates is not the problem. It's making them stay loyal is the problem. That is the problem, okay? Like, we have moderates who said that they voted for Trump because they felt like it. On the day of voting, literally on the day of voting, they felt like they felt like it. That's it. That's their argument. I'm not joking. Okay? Like, you can't tell me that that is a loyal vote. That's not a loyal vote. Okay? You need to have people who are loyal. If the moderate that I'm convincing is going to become a very, very loyal blue voter, I totally support it. 100% I support it, okay? But you're not actually getting loyal votes. You're trying to advocate for a temporary reprieve that is not even a reprieve. You're advocating for someone who is egotistical, arrogant, and think that they are very justified in principle because they're a moderate, okay? Who is full of themselves and insufferable and annoying, okay? That's who you're trying to convince, okay? And even if you convince them, on the day of the election, it could entirely be the case that they don't vote for blue. But at least for the Democrats, at least when it comes to your base, that's a guaranteed blue vote, pretty much, right? There is no Democrat out there who is like, suddenly they promise to vote blue, and then suddenly on the day of the election, they choose to vote red. Nobody is fucking like that, right? So yeah, I just don't get why, yeah. Again, convincing moderates is not a problem, it's fucking keeping their loyalty. Yeah. That's why you'll never win over moderates. Good. I don't want to win over them. Okay? I just want to turn on my base. That's it. Okay? Thank you.
I brainwormed dad about shit. Like, I just don't really care. And he's Canadian, so I don't give a fuck.
Okay?
Right?
I'm good.
But I do care about, like, moderate 35-year-olds.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what your take on that was. Like, I agree with you. Like, that's my exact view on it, too. Just like, you're never being convinced ever. Literally ever. So it's whatever.
Gotcha.
So
Okay, and your last question.
What about prosecutions for Trump admin people that committed crimes? Do you, because you take the view that some of our actions have pushed them farther and farther, do you think that would too? And is it worth the trade-off to get some justice for some of these things?
If they've actually done something like blatantly illegal,
I don't think it matters. Well, yeah, sorry, it matters on our side. It matters on our side. Like, of course, we would only ever prosecute people that literally, actually, for real, committed crimes. But
and
no matter what I'm saying, what I mean is that even if they did, they won't. The Republican media apparatus will never say that. They'll never believe it. They'll tell their people that they're being politically persecuted. And given that info, do we take the trade anyway?
And two, the question would be, is this a standard thing that's happening in politics all the time? And just because they were part of the opposing side, are they getting tried? Or is this something unique that occurred that needs to be corrected in a precedent set? Because, like, for example, the IRS will every now and then, like, audit somebody who's just, like, their face pops up in some, like, political way in ways that's, like, really fucking weird. And it seems like they don't just audit other people on these same things. Would be like all like insider trading. I feel like everyone's like so mad about insider trading, except like only like one person gets published every now and then, and it's kind of like the unspoken like crime that everyone fucking does. So it would be those two things. Like, if they broke a crime and it's a crime that like is precedent setting in a bad way, then yeah, you should definitely like charge them for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be worried about the backlash from the other side at all?
The backlash.
Just think about. I mean, look at Trump. Like, the argument, people make the argument, and I think they're probably fucking right, that he gained more support being prosecuted. But some of the stuff he's being prosecuted for, he fucking deserved it. Not actually, no. All of the shit he was charged with, he did do those things. There were crimes and he committed them. It's just a matter of, was it worth the trade? Should we have pressed the charges? Yeah,
it's kind of like when like when a cop is just trying to get you, so they just throw like every charge at you, and it's like, well, some of them, you know, are fair, but like some of them are like, not that super great. So I don't know the law well enough, but if essentially what they did was precedent breaking and it erodes the strength of the institution, then it needs to be corrected, because even the backlash that will come from it, the institution has to be regirded, because like that falling apart, the media apparatus matters a lot. The institutions actually being degraded and corruption being more possible is like the worst possible outcome that like has to happen, obviously. So if they're doing crimes that are like genuine and eroding the institution, then yeah, we need to like clap that down. If they're doing shit that everyone is doing on both sides, honestly, at that point, fucking prosecute all of them. I would like, personally, I would like to throw the book at everyone who's breaking.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. Okay.
Left or
I just
right.
wanted to see where you're at on it. Ultimately, it's not going to matter because Trump is going to pardon everyone on his way out the door. So it's not going to matter.
Jesus Christ. 3, 2, 1. Oh no. Oh no. I don't mean to. No. No!